Up against the building.
Oh, she's done.
Don't miss. Get her.
Unbelievable. Is it any wonder why people don't have faith in law enforcement anymore? G'day guys, this is Holy Critics signing in. And today, I think I need to give you the heads up. When you're walking down the street, you not only got to watch your back from potential wildlife, dog attacks, people robbing you, thugs beating you over the head. Now you got to throw in a third category, rogue cops, who find it real funny throwing things at random passers-by. Story today, 2 cops in Louisville, Kentucky have been convicted of assaulting innocent pedestrians, people who weren't even committing crimes, and they had the chutzpah to film their assaults and laugh about it as you get drenched in an icy cold slushy. We're supposed to trust law enforcement, and for the most part, we can. But it's these bad seeds, these bad apples, that spoil the batch. And I don't know what the hiring standards are in Louisville. Something seriously needs to be done about these kinds of predators, because that's all they are. They're thugs with a badge. For whatever reason, the hiring standards have taken a dive in the United States. Maybe since the BLM riots, maybe since the COVID lockdowns. I'm not sure. Maybe you can tell me in the comments. Before I speak any further on the matter, I want you to judge for yourself.
How about a drink?
It's nasty, sickening behavior. Innocent people just standing there, getting slushies thrown at them from a passing car. And you won't believe who's throwing the drinks. They're uniformed police officers patrolling the streets of Louisville, Kentucky in an unmarked car. You can hear them yucking it up the entire time. They actually recorded their cruel antics and shared the video with some of their fellow cops.
Well, there you go. There's the missing ingredient. They assault dozens of people. Dozens. I mean, I thought it was just a few isolated incidents, but clearly not. They record it, they laugh about it, and finally, to throw salt in the wound, they share it on social media, on a chat group. And did anybody turn them in? You know, we hear about good cops, plenty of good cops. Why didn't they turn these 2 cretins in? Code of silence? No snitching? I don't know. All I know is it puts the department into disrepute.
In this incident, a marked police car following them records a slushie hitting a pedestrian.
The outrageous attacks took place over 11 months in 2018 and 2019, but the video...
Oh, okay. I stand corrected. Sorry, guys. I said the BLM riots or COVID were the reason for the hiring standards. These guys were employed before COVID and the BLM riots. So this has been going on for a while then. The standards have been dropping long before the mass layoffs. Okay. That's even worse than I thought.
Has only been obtained this week by the Courier-Journal newspaper following a Freedom of Information request. Locally, the scandal became known as Slushygate after at least 24 innocent civilians had slushies like this thrown at them.
The 2 officers in the undercover car were identified as Curtis Flynn, 40, and Brian Wilson, 36. They were members of an elite undercover drug task force. Both have pled guilty. Flynn...
An elite undercover drug task force. And they're going after drug users there, are they? They're going after gun runners, are they? Those people walking down the sidewalk. Yeah, I mean, these special operations, they tend to get a lot of leeway. They get a long leash, don't they? With little to no oversight from their superiors. I mean, would you want these 2 fellas here responding to a life or death situation? Would you want them to come to your rescue? I imagine these are the kind of guys that, you know, shoot first and think later. How these people weren't vetted, I'll never know.
Was sentenced to 3 months. Wilson got 30 months. And it
Well, that's at least a sizable sentence, 30 months. That's like, what, two and a half years or so? So they're obviously the department, however this information came forward, whether it leaked to the press, I'm not so sure. They said it happened in 2018, 2019, so it's been floating around there. I don't know what the catalyst for this recent development, but whatever the case may be, I'm just personally happy, even as a non-US citizen, because these kind of cops exist here in Australia, believe you me. I'm happy they've been taken off the streets.
wasn't just slushies. The accused cops also seem to take pleasure in driving through puddles, drenching people waiting at bus stops.
I can't stand people that do that. Is there anything these guys haven't done?
The mayor of Louisville says the culture of the police department has changed and something like this could not happen again.
Famous last words, could not happen again. Let's hear what the mayor has to say.
We've improved focus on supervision. Incidents like that will not be tolerated.
To protect and serve their city? Not even close.
Well, there you go, guys. He says there's more supervision than ever. So what, did they not have body cams in 2019? Looks like the only surveillance that's happening here is from the perpetrators filming their own crimes. Incredible. But we'll read into it a little bit more. So apparently there were 24 different incidents between 2018 and 2019, and the footage was only given to journalists after a FOIA request. Big surprises there. The department really did not want this to surface in the public eye. Flynn and Wilson pleaded guilty to civil rights violations. Damn right. And a federal judge called their actions egregious, conscience-shocking, before sentencing Flynn to 3 months and Wilson to 30 months. I wonder why there's the discrepancy there. Surely they deserved the same sentence. They are both collaborators, conspirators. Starting to sound like a lawyer now, aren't I? At least 5 other officers were temporarily suspended for their roles. Ooh, so let's cast a wide net here. Who else was involved? Such as helping to film or drive and failing to report the misconduct, but were allowed to keep their jobs. Yes, big surprise. One detective even said, "I thought this was just some dumb prank stuff that specialty units do." Oh, thanks for your omission there. So this has been happening to other people. It just hasn't been recorded most of the time, of course. Everybody wants to distance themselves from this little incident or series of incidents. Sergeant Casper has denied knowing about the attacks and is appealing his 30-day suspension, despite writing in the group chat where the videos were shared, "Y'all need to use slow-mo feature." So he's really lapping it up, isn't he? He's enjoying this. This is really fun for him. Internal documents show that at least 3 other officers were involved in that text thread but were not disciplined. So this runs so deep that you might as well sack the entire department in Louisville, Kentucky. All of the officers involved were part of an elite squad tasked with preventing drug and gun crime, but eventually gained a reputation for, you guessed it, police brutality and abusing authority, and were eventually disbanded in 2019. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Rampart, anyone? The civil rights charges against Flynn and Wilson only came as a result of the FBI investigating Wilson for a separate sextortion scheme. That seems like a story in and of itself, doesn't it? Sextortion scheme. Well, it certainly fits the pattern of behaviour, doesn't it? Mayor Greenberg has since called the acts unacceptable and said he is thankful each of the officers caught throwing drinks at people have been prosecuted by the DOJ. Well, I guess we could just wash our hands of the issue, sweep it under the rug and move on. This is not going to continually happen again and again and again. Look, when are the authorities going to get to the core of the problem? Is there any way to weed out the psychopaths? Any way to do it? Any testing? Psychological analysis, that kind of jiggery pokery? Or have we got to a point now where the next generation are so ashamed of the law enforcement profession that they'll do anything but it? And thus, the hiring standards, which were once at this level, let's say, slowly coming down. We'll probably get to the point where we're hiring illegal immigrants to do the job. Don't put it past them. So there you have it, guys. It's not looking pretty, is it? And this is just a couple of rogue cops throwing slushies at people. You might think, oh, it's a storm in a teacup. Nothing to worry about. Just imagine what's not being recorded. Don't open up that can of worms. You won't be able to put the lid back on. Thanks for watching today's video, and this is Holy Critic signing out.